Today on Ballistic Burgers, by request, I'm going to be cooking up the humble patty melt, but only this version is going to be a little bit more tricked out. Let's get going. So as I said in my opener, this is by request, so thank you for that. And like I also said, I'm going to kind of trick this out a little bit. So I'm just putting my own little spin on this patty melt, but you'll still recognize it as a patty melt. Before we start with the recipe, my question to you is a patty melt a burger? Is it a hamburger? And my personal opinion is that it is. And I'm basing this off of what a lot of people acknowledge as the first hamburger in the US, which is from Lewis Lunch in Hartford, Connecticut. And when you compare the two, I mean, they're very similar as far as it's a hamburger. There's no bun on Lewis Lunch. It's just toasted bread. So again, it's very similar to that patty melt. So I'm calling it a hamburger. And if you want to call it a sandwich, that's cool. But a hamburger is still a sandwich anyway. So we could talk about this for hours and I'm not going to go there. We're going to kick it off with a very simple kind of a Thousand Island dressing. I have here 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. To that cup of mayo, I'm adding 1 teaspoon sweet relish, sweet pickle relish, 1 teaspoon finely minced onion, and 1 teaspoon minced capers. 2 tablespoons ketchup, 1 tablespoon white vinegar, 2 teaspoons sugar, and give that a mix. There we are. Looks good. It's good. It's good. It tastes like Thousand Island, but I can also pick up a little bit of the brininess from that caper. Now let's take a look at that patty we're going to be cooking up. This is ground chuck. It's 80-20, meaning it's 80% lean, 20% fat. And I formed this using one of my stainless steel burger rings. So you can see that this is a circular burger. And this is the bread we're going to be cooking up. Now traditionally, rye bread is used with a patty melt. I saw this pumpernickel, and I thought, this bread looks cool. I mean, you can see it looks like cornmeal sprinkled on it, and then they sliced into the, the raw dough before it was baked, the raw loaf, and then it opened up and just, it looks awesome. But this is going to not look too cool, with this big old kind of circular patty. So what I'm going to do is make it oblong. And of course there will be some shrinkage while we're cooking. So it's going to be bigger than the bread right now. And by the time it's cooked, it'll look pretty darn cool. I'm just going to take one of my parchments and just even out the top here. Looks good. Season it up with some kosher salt. Now I noticed in a lot of the patty melt videos I watched leading up to this video, the person doing the cook, they were mixing, this was several people, mixing seasonings into the ground beef. And me personally, this is a personal thing, I am totally against that. I think the ground beef should be treated like a steak, seasoned on the outside, let the beef flavor kind of do the talking. The other thing that I don't like about mixing seasonings into the beef like that is there's a tendency to overwork the beef because you're trying to distribute the salt, the pepper, whatever it is, throughout the ground beef, and you're overworking it, which is going to lead up to a tough burger, could dry out, and you'll see them swell up. And I noticed a few of those burgers on the videos I was watching, you could see them kind of puffing up. And that's one of the things that causes the burgers to swell like that. The primary cause is just overworking the beef. Anyway, let's do some cooking. We're using the Wildfire griddle today. Right now I'm running this at medium high. This side on low. Throw down a little oil in a pan. We're going to do some caramelized onions. This is avocado oil. Throw in some fairly thinly sliced onion. Now I already caramelized some onion for this video this morning, but I'm going to walk you through the steps so you see what I did. So again, we're keeping a nice, like a medium-high heat, and I just want to keep these onions moving. Season them with some salt and some pepper. Again, keep them moving. Now at any time during this cook, if I see that they're starting to dry out, right now they're looking fine, but if they're starting to dry out, I just add a little bit of water to the mix here, kind of rehydrate everything, and it also starts deglazing the pan of the sugars that are coming out of the onion. And eventually you'll notice that they're going to start getting a lot softer and less opaque. They're going to be more translucent. And eventually with patience, this is what you end up with, beautiful caramelized onions. If you rush or if the heat's too high, you're going to end up with fried onions, which are good, but I don't think they're as good as this. All right, let's make a patty melt. All right, let's get that patty down. Some more salt. Just a quick press to help with the sear. I will not be doing this after the flip. All right. Wow. Pressing the patty works. All right, now I'm going to get that bread buttered. This side's going on low. Get that bread down. Get some Swiss cheese down. Some Munster. All right, I'm going to move these up to a little bit of a hotter heat here. Get this burger right there. Some heat on the onions. Some of that Thousand Island, homemade Thousand Island. Onions down. Nice crunch. And here we are. The messiest patty melt west of the Mississippi. Let's give this a try here. First of all, because it's brown bread, you don't get to see the toast, but it's got a good toast on it. And that pumpernickel smelled so good on the grill. Look at that. And it wouldn't be a diner plate without some pickles. So I'm going to throw down some pickles. And thanks again, Adam. Adam sent me these pickles from Oklahoma, from this place called Jan's. They make pickles, and these are their spicy sweet dill, and they're good. There you go. All right, let's try this out. Let me see here. First of all, I'm really happy with the doneness. It's like a medium. It's very juicy. The burger is still very, very juicy. I'm so happy with the crust that I got too. That was like smashburger quality crust. So I'm a big fan of the traditional rye bread, but I gotta tell you, this pumpernickel, it's rocking. It's very fragrant when you're, that toasted pumpernickel. So again, on a traditional patty melt, it's going to be all Swiss cheese. You're not going to see Munster or Gruyere or Gouda or anything like that, but why not? I have the Swiss on there, paying homage to the traditional, but this is good. That Munster on here is rocking. Really digging on all this melted cheese. Burger is extremely juicy. That Thousand Island, it's really hitting the spot. It's got that sweetness that Thousand Island has, but then I'm picking up, the brininess from those capers in there. So for the record, I'm calling this a burger. I mean, it eats like a burger, tastes like a burger. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the requests. Keep those requests coming in. And if you have a request in, just be patient. I am getting to my request. It's a process. I can't crank them all out the minute I receive one. So be patient. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscription button, ringing the notification bell, thumb it up if you like it. And I hope you did. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.